Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we are going to talk about a couple of model reveals that have happened during the Indomitus faceoff stream. There's probably going to be more on the way, but I've got to go out in a minute, and so I thought I would just show you the two things that we've seen so far, although I think actually one technically was like a Facebook early post or something. Whatever. The important thing is that there is a Chaplain on bike, a Primaris Chaplain on bike, no less, and the Silent King. You know what, let's start with the Chaplain on bike first, because I have to say, I actually really like it. Obviously, the bike still makes no sense. It's still got way too much bulk, it's got no ground clearance, it's ludicrous, but that is a good looking Chaplain. The head is maybe a little too Reaver for my taste when it comes to the mouth, but you know what, I like everything else about it. It is a solid Crozius, excellent Crozius work. In fact, look at it, it's a skeleton, the top half of a skeleton with wings. What more could you possibly ask for? Massive old iron halo, which the extra long spikes, really like it, and obligatory book. Now the way the book is on this bike, I actually really like. Held down over the two bolters with chains, looks hardcore. Don't know how secure that is. Maybe if he goes around a corner too fast, the book will fly. Maybe that's an extra attack when the book flies out from under the chains and decks some poor sod in the face. Either way, I actually really do like this. I think it looks decent. It is perhaps a little controversial in some ways because the old Chaplain on bike was moved to Legends. Oh dear me, but now there's a Primaris version, I wonder why. But I actually really like the model. The model looks cool, I will take it all day long. Also, nice bit of parchment there. Good looking armour too. The legs are pretty decent, they're not too over ornamented. I actually really like the chest plate. It is a bit more subtle. There's still like a hint of rib cage there, but it's not completely overblown. Overall, solid model, I do like it. Now, on to the main event, the Silent King. Hilariously, the king is silent, but his throne goes... So yeah, the floating throne construct is suitably alien and weird. I do like the fact that the steps have got that nice Necron touch with the kind of semicircle carved out of the middle. Bit unnecessary for getting up and down it, probably makes it a bit more tricky than it needs to be, but it's fine. The king himself is, I was going to say, surprisingly plain. Then again, I don't think he's ever really been described as being like super ornate and fancy. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's been described as being kind of like any other Necron overlord, but with a magnificent crown. Really do like the head on the Silent King, looks quality. The body is a bit more lithe and a bit more sculpted than you see from pretty much any of the other Necron stuff, which, again, makes sense for his status. I would have thought maybe a bit taller or just maybe a bit more, but then again, part of me thinks if he was any more complex, if he was any more overcomplicated or decorated, that model would be an absolute mess, because there's a lot going on. There's patterns all over this thing. You've got the, you've got the Catan Shard being held above the king, which is an absolute power move. Then you've got all the different carvings in the steps. You've got carvings on the, what looks like kind of blackstone pillars on either side of the king himself. You've got two dudes on either side. I think a Cryptek and maybe both Crypteks. It's hard to tell. No, is that a Cryptek and a Plasmancer, maybe? We'll find out, whatever. But then you've got like two other infantry models there who are a bit shorter, considerably shorter in fact, which kind of adds to the height of the king himself. Even the steps have got little carvings and stuff, and that's before you even get to the two shields that come with the massive throne. I think maybe if it'd been covered in carvings and intricate detail, it might have just looked way too much. Like, there's been a trend, let's be honest, of kind of overdoing it. I feel like keeping him relatively simple, but keeping his floating pimp chair kind of complex might have been, the right way to go. I mean, that's not to say that he doesn't have a bit of visual flair himself. He does have the crown, which I really like, and he's got that flowing metallic cape, which, honestly, I think really, really works. It looks really cool. Going to be fun to paint as well, actually. That is going to be that is going to be a cape that benefits from some really nice bit of smooth dry brushing. Oh, I'm getting excited about it now. Overall, I think it looks pretty damn good. I am definitely torn with the Silent King himself. The Mask of Sanguinius, if he'd been wearing that would have been hilarious. Be funny if that was an alternative option, but I have to admit I doubt it. I think I'm more leaning towards, yes, simple for the king himself was slightly better. But then I kind of go back a bit and I'm like, oh, but then again, he's the Silent King. Surely give him a bit more ornamentation. I don't know. I guess just permanently in two minds about that. The only thing that I'm really concerned about is the way that those floating shields are attached to the bases fills me with anxiety, and I have to admit, it kind of looks like the throne itself has got a similar deal. It's a little hard to tell. It depends on whether the kind of claw things, I don't really know what to describe them as, whether the big metal kind of curvy bits, what is this description? Garbage. They're actually touching the floor or not. If they are, then sure. If not, then we've got more kind of thin, twisty, plasticky bits keeping that stable, and the word stable is being used liberally and possibly inaccurately there. I don't know. Overall, I really like it. I really do. It's suitable for what he is, and I think I will forever go back and forth. I will forever be in two minds as to whether he needs to be more ornate or whether he's actually okay as he is. But the overall impression is that's pretty damn intimidating. You cannot mistake him for anyone else, even if he's not particularly more fancy than your standard Necron Overlord, because look at what he's riding. That is a status symbol, if ever I've seen one. Pretty good so far. I'm sure there will probably be other things revealed. We will most likely cover those on Monday. As I say, I'm going to be going out in a minute, so I will probably miss whatever else there is. But these two I like. Chaplain on bike, cool, nice. Silent King, even better. Let me know what you think of these two in the comments down below. Do you like them? Dislike them? How salty are you about the Primaris Chaplain on bike, given that the Firstborn Chaplain on bike is a legend thing only now? That's going to be interesting. And yeah, let me know what you think. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click it if you don't want to. And of course, there's an affiliate link for Element Games in the description, which you can use to support the channel if you would like. I leave it entirely up to you. I hope you have a lovely weekend, and I will see you for the next one.